Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us at the SEMA show stage. Today I want to introduce myself. I'm Danny Gredenberg with the Database Enhancement Gateway. And today we have two individuals here. My good friend Barry Dorn with Dorn's Body and Paint. And then we have Rob Grieve with Nyland's Collision Center.
So good to be here with you guys.
Thank you for joining us. And something I'm very passionate about, and I really want to have the two of you talk about today, is the new the SCRS BOT tool. The BOT tool is just an amazing tool that can help repair planners, estimators, repair facilities really help capture the bottom line, those dollars. Something that we're all needing to get on our estimates and help ensure that we're doing a safe and proper repair. Barry, tell us a little bit more. What was the initiative behind the BOT tool? What was the driving force behind it?
So, and Danny, thanks for that. So the premise or the start of the BOT came from just being candid. March Taylor at March Taylor Auto Body Hawaii was he's the godfather of the Database Enhancement Gateway. March and I Toby Chess and a few others, we started this basically the genesis of the BOT in 2003, 2004. And we finally decided to move it forward in 2017 to an electronic version. That this was just a spreadsheet that March and Toby and a lot of us would share, and we'd add to it. And that list, so the name of it used to be the 700 list, and then it went to the 900 list, and then it went to the 1200 list, and then we finally moved it electronically. But the BOT is a phenomenal tool that we are extremely passionate about because it's a fit for every collision center out there. Let's face it, I mean, we love to think as repair planners, as our own repair planners, that we do a fantastic job at writing a detailed and accurate repair plan. But here's the problem. With all the things that estimators and repair planners and blueprinters do, they're what? They're interrupted constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly interrupted. Well, then they forget where that they're at, and they don't know where they stop, so they just keep going. And we saw there was so much leakage and not having the correct procedure. Now, bear in mind, it's not just the dollars, it's not just the cents, it's if the parts aren't there, if the procedures aren't there, if the rivets aren't there, all of that impacts your cycle time. So it's not just about the financial aspect. This is what your technicians read. The work orders got that on there. So if none of the things that are supposed to be there, or if they're not consistently there, and that's really the main thing that the BOT does, is breed consistency. If it's not there, then it hurts the entire production operation.
Oh, absolutely. From the times that I've got to use it, just be able to put an estimate through that system and have it analyze it. What does it take, like seconds to analyze that estimate?
Almost instantaneously.
I mean, it's crazy how fast it is. I mean, it's literally like a little robot back there, reading that estimate. Rob, what's your thoughts on it? What's your involvement with the BOT? How does it work for you?
Well, there's so many great things about this product. One of them is the affordability of it. I mean, right out of the box, one or two estimates, you've paid for it for a whole month, and I mean, this thing has really just changed so many shops' ability to write thorough estimates, not forget things, help the technicians to really repair the car correctly. And if you go to as an employee, if you're a technician, you go to a shop that has the BOT versus a shop that doesn't have the BOT, you're going to make more money at the shop that has the BOT, and because it's just a more thorough way of writing a repair plan.
Yeah.
Because again, what I was saying earlier, in the main premise, is the consistency. As repair planners, part of what got us going on this, but wanting and knowing and seeing the consistency, was we had an employee that wrecked his vehicle. So he made sure that he told everyone that he wanted this person to repair it, wanted this person to do the structural, wanted this person to paint it, and wanted this person to detail it. and this person to do the ADAS. And we're like, what difference does it make? Well, this person seems to be more thorough at this and this and this. What the bot has done is it's changed it so that the end product is the same. No matter who repairs the vehicle, the end product is going to be the same, which for us did really help, because you don't think that, well, I know there are some that don't, but there are some technicians, I'll say, that don't read the work order, but by and large, they do read it.
Yeah.
And when they read it and you've got it detailed down to every single operation that should be there, and the key point to the bot is that it puts the operation where it's supposed to be. So most, again, this is a generic term, but the estimate scrubbers, they only put it somewhere at the bottom,
You're right.
which, as we all know, the third-party bill payer just sees that and no.
Big X.
Yep.
Big X at the
So
end.
this goes organically exactly where it's supposed to be. So you will have the quarter operation, you'll have the door operation, you'll have the rear body operation, and it puts everything where it's supposed to be in seconds.
No, I mean, those are all great points. I mean, and walking the show, throughout this week, there's a lot of people that claim to be the best estimator out there, the best repair planner out there. And, the first thing I say is, let's put it through the bot and let's see what that really, how great are you? And no disrespect to anyone, because I mean, repair planning is a very hard task. It's not something that's really easy. It's
Incredibly,
it's not an
today.
easy click. And even someone like myself, I could say the same thing. I'm the greatest estimator in the world, or repair planner. But the fact that I could pick up, even 1-2 operations, even if it adds, 20, 40, something of a very minimal amount, that's dollars that adds up over time, and like I said, my knowledge up here is not getting bigger. It's
To your point, Danny, whether you're a young estimator or an old guy, I tend to forget things.
Exactly.
The young people, they don't know the things. And, when that thing says, okay, we're replacing the hood, did you remember to paint the underside? Did you remember to put the seam sealer on it? How about the stickers? I mean, we get telephone calls. We have just an incredible amount of interruptions while we're trying to do these things. And this keeps you on track, and it makes a better repair.
Yeah.
Well, and again, it's back to that consistency. I hate to keep coming back to it, but all of us within our organization, we all have cultures that embody both strengths and weaknesses. You have people in your team that have strengths, you have people that have weaknesses. So what this also does, if you've got a repair planner that you're trying to groom to get he or she up to a different level, this will level set all of them, because they're all playing off the same sheet. They're all consistently seeing the exact same operations. And, so you go, okay, well, how do I monitor that? Well, the bot has a ton of reporting. You can see in there what estimator had the ability to choose all of these features. Did he or she choose it? Did they not choose it?
Right.
At what frequency did they choose it? And it helps you have that discussion with them. Hey, could you have done this a little differently, and here's why, or why didn't you choose this? Well, because this works well, whether you're an OEM certified shop or even if you're a DRP shop, it's 100% irrelevant. The product works the same way, is that it'll allow you to have those talks with them and they can see it. And here's the good news. Right from their workstation, they can click on the reporting and see how they measure up to the two other repair planners internally, but even more importantly, externally, how they're doing against shops 2,000 miles away.
That's incredible. I mean, we know our office staff, they're always looking for feedback, reviewing, and doing an employee review. I mean, as a shop owner, I mean, how does the bot help you do an employee review and really assess where they're at?
So from my aspect, and again, Rob, I don't want to leave you out, but from my aspect is that it, above and beyond showing them the real data, I don't have to bring this to, I do, but I don't have to bring this to, they can see it. And it shows. And there may be, in a lot of cases, when we're doing air calibration talks with their team, a lot of times there is a legitimate reason why they didn't do something or why they didn't elect to it. Because, again, let's go down into it. The bot will go into every single operation to ask you if you want to bubble wrap parts.
Yeah.
and whatever the value that you choose for that. And it consistently puts that value in. So let's just say, just for the sake of argument, that you put in 3/10 that you want to bubble wrap because it'll do it for the fender, the hood. I mean, every panel on the vehicle. Let's say that you don't feel like that it should be that, so you change it. It's completely fine. However, the shop management will see that. Now, there may be a reason for it. If that person felt, well, that as large a job as this was, that was 6 hours worth of, 6 or that hours worth to protect the parts and bubble wrap. Well, you may not feel that that's a correct number.
Right.
So you change it. But you as management can at least see that and go, okay, I know why that they did it. So you can make kind of on-the-fly choices there too.
Great insights. Now, Rob, I think to our viewers here, they're wanting to know, okay, this bot tool just helps capture something. What are some of the operations that we're capturing, on our repair plans? I mean, what are we seeing that we're able to capture?
Oh, there's just so many of them. There are 2,000 operations that are available inside of it, and it suggests it based on what you already have on your estimate. So if you have a hood on your estimate, whether it's to repair it or replace it, there are items that you may be forgetting that need to be put on there. And it's so simple. It's so simple to use and so helpful. We've spent an incredible amount of time at SCRS building this thing, and the amount of people involved, and the time that has gone into it, and the affordability of it. It's crazy to me to imagine that somebody wouldn't be using it, because everybody that does use it makes more money than people that don't.
Yeah.
If you look at, to Rob's point here, if you look at even down to, that there's ADAS reporting, it scans for ADAS based on the vehicle. We are working with a lot of OEMs now to bring their specific procedures into it. But if you look now, so if you remember in the beginning of the conversation, I said start off as a 500, you has a 500 list, then 750, then 9, then 1200. We're up to 2100 now.
Yeah.
Okay, and we've got a new update ready to go. Rob, myself, and a few others just finished the update, and we're ready. We hope to release it soon. We want to make sure the bugs are out of it first, but we hope to get that out there soon. But even with that, we're constantly adding new things to it because we get reports back from users that want to see things.
So it's constantly evolving, is what it sounds like.
Yes, sir.
It's growing, it's evolving, and it's not like this is it and that's it. And it's just going to get
we're having conversations every week about the bot and how we can make it better and how the utilization is going, and it's on our mind.
I think one of the coolest things that I captured on my end when I ran an estimate through there was having a high voltage vehicle or like an EV car, like a Prius, for example, and it captured the de-energizing, the taking high voltage deactivation on that vehicle, because that's a very common missed operation. It's not just a simple disconnect, reconnect battery. I mean, there's a whole process that you have to do. But if you don't capture that big, the big picture, operation and the labor value, I mean, you're missing hours, dollars at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, go back to say a brand new, inexperienced repair planner, and just this is not only a tool to capture things; it's a tool to educate people. Because as they're going through and the bot suggests, a hybrid, pull the plug on it. Well, that estimator may not know that needs to be done. And so when it gets suggested as an option that you might need to do it, now they can do a little research as, well, what does that mean? And let's get it on the ticket. They start learning more.
If I could add to you, Danny, on again, just on the ADAS side, so many shops, they view it as pre and post scan. Okay, stop.
Yeah.
Pre and post scan. Okay, if you go down just about every OEM website, we, as the bot, have identified 42 different operations that have to do with pre and post scan. Because it's not just that.
Right.
It's so many different operations that have to go into it. That's just a generic term that somehow was brought forward. I'm not quite sure where that
For a
came
health
from.
check only.
Yeah.
It's just a health check.
It's
It
to
doesn't
plug
give
it
you
in.
all the
No.
information you
No.
need in order to repair the car or write the car properly.
So this will allow you to be more detailed. We got 47 different 41, different operations just for ADAS alone, that shows that you know what you're doing, and your technicians know to do what? To perform the operation,
Right.
so that way it's there. And they have no excuse for not doing it because I'm not getting paid for it, okay?
So, how do you get the buy-in from the staff? When you implement a new tool like this, at first it can always sound like it's just another product. What are some of the tips that you can provide to a shop here, to implement and get the buy-in and put that in the culture of the shop?
Yeah, I think it happens all by itself, because if, we all think we're the greatest estimators in the whole world. You run your sheet through there and it, gives you 20 different things that you don't have on your sheet based on what you do have on your sheet, and you pick up 5 of them, that are appropriate for that repair, it makes its own sense.
So once you show them, so when they take a repair plan and they can kind of just quickly, and I hate to admit this, but this is what happens, they can quickly go through it, add it, and the larger parts that they need, and then hit scan.
Yep.
And then it does everything else for them. And gets it all in the right place. It's not, you're not taking a quarter panel operation, throwing it at the bottom, or it's not going to the top. It's going into the quarter. Every single operation. When you can go through that and put that in there, it saves them time. That's what they love. That's what my team loves, is the time savings, that they don't have to drill it down all the way. It doesn't make them lazy, because that's a worry. At some point, it's like
Right.
just going to click, 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 and then let the bot do the rest. No. But it helps them be more efficient, but more efficiently capture every single operation
Right.
that needs to be in there. Because there's no way. I don't care how good the repair planner is and how great, because I've heard both of you say it, how great they think they are. They can't be that good every time. The phone is ringing. People are talking to them. People are coming over to see them. They are getting interrupted every minute. They can't remember that. No one can.
Right. It's something, we're very fortunate to be at a show like this, and we get to see a lot of people come through, and a lot of them are very honest and saying, maybe I just opened up my shop, or, I just got into this I just got thrown into this, right? And, how can this help me? Maybe, and I think, we also have to remind everyone, this is not a substitute of knowledge. You still have to understand what you're adding onto the repair plan, and because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to explain this to the bill payer, to your customer. Why you're adding these operations on there. What are some advice you guys can provide? When you add everything on there. Do you just add everything all at once, or do you kind of just slowly graduate and kind of work your way up? Because you're going to be introducing a lot of operations to a bill payer or to a customer that they may not be normally accustomed to.
Well, I think, it goes back to what I was saying before. If an estimator sees something that it's recommending and they don't know why it's recommending, or what it is, or why it's needed, they can't explain it to a bill payer either, whether it be the consumer or the insurance company. But it gives them the ability to research it, or tap their shoulder at the guy working next to him and say, hey, what is this all about? Can you teach me? Or maybe there's a class that we have on it, or a quick tip, or something that would help that person understand what it is, because you shouldn't put it on the estimate if you don't know what it is and can't speak to it. But this gives you the ability to learn some things that, even experienced people, especially with the ADAS, and we know we still have pre and post scanning issues of them not getting done, and calibrations that aren't even thought about. This tool says, hey, you doing this? What about that? And that gives you an opportunity to stand back for a second and maybe go check the car. And
the great news is, because it's so fully customizable, the bot can be customized any way you want. Whether it's you want to only charge X to this insurance partner, whether or not this OEM that requires this, you can set it up completely any way that you want. The good news is that then you have a standardized charge. You have and I'm just using this strictly as an example, if somebody puts $20 down for seam sealer, and we all know we're spending well over hundreds on it, that price point is already there. You have already set that price point. You have already set up the labor time. If it needs to be adjusted or changed, great. Go through and do it. If it doesn't, and if someone changes your pricing, you know about it, okay?
Right.
But I can't agree with Rob more. You can't expect someone that has zero estimating experience. That's not what this is for. But I can tell you, it can take, if there is such a thing as a C-class estimator. I don't know if any of us want a C-class estimator, at least on the front line. But it could take someone.
You got to start someplace.
Right. It could take someone that has lesser experience and bring them up to your senior level folks very
faster.
quickly. Yeah. I mean, that's what we've seen, and that's the reports we've got back from so many shops across the U.S. is that it took an estimator, and hey, we're all suffering with what? The huge labor shortage. So if you can take someone, and I'm just using this strictly as an example, that came from the restaurant industry, and spend and get them in 3 to 4 months up to doing what you want, because the customer service skills there, they know why they put seam sealer on the estimate, that they know why they bubble wrap the parts. You know, the list goes on and on and on. That makes it a lot easier for you as a shop owner to breathe that consistency across, where you don't get technicians that they go, well, I really don't want to repair that car because that's Joe's, and Joe's a horrible repair planner. And hey, if you don't think that happens in our businesses, you're fooling yourself.
You know, something I do want to touch on, and when I was doing the bot setup, yes, I was going through 2,000 lines to identify if I want to go high frequency, low frequency, and yeah, it was a cumbersome task. But one thing that it really opened my eyes to is how outdated my old parts code table was, and it was so dated. I mean, I was like, what the heck is going on in here? And this was a great opportunity to do what? Just go in there and clean it up, have a more accurate parts code table, have accurate charges, actually charge for materials that are reflective of today's charges versus what they were 10, 12 years ago that I completely forgot about. And that's money that was just going right out the door.
Look, when you go to set up this guide, and it is a project to set up this guide, there's no doubt about it right up front. Just like anything worthwhile, you've got to put a little effort into it. There's no easy button here for anything that we do in this industry. But it gives you an opportunity also, just like you said, to reassess maybe what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what you're charging for it, and get other people involved in it. Now everybody's an owner of it, and now you're starting to change culture and just do better repair plans for the consumer.
Here's the bottom line, is that so does it take 4 to 6 hours to set up? Yeah, it does, but I can tell you that is time well spent. If you're not willing to invest 4 to 6 hours in your business to level set for 6 months, because and the only reason why I say that the difference is pricing changes. Yeah, especially with the inflation we've got here now. So so now you may have to go to do it once a month or whatever, just because everything does change as far as just the pricing. Okay, but if you spend the six hours or so to basically standardize your business, I don't know how that's too much.
Right.
I don't get that, because we spend that amount of time chasing people around to do the right thing because we haven't set up a proper SOP. So it doesn't, that part doesn't make sense to me.
It
Why
helps
somebody
create
would want
those.
to do it.
It helps create the SOPs.
Yeah, of course.
Some tips on that, and that I've been hearing feedback is maybe an owner doesn't have the time, but maybe they allocate that task to their estimator, maybe to a green person, and they really get the buy-in, and then maybe they give them some kind of bonus once accomplishing, because again, once you run a couple repair plans through it, I mean, it pays itself off and to the moon, right? I mean, so it's just nothing but bottom line profits, it sounds like. So,
and there's other people you can bring into setting up that thing. Because why not get your paint vendor or your jobber in there to help you figure out what's 3M charging for this thing, and what's the sealers and so on and so forth. There's lots of resources out there, and then they feel like they're part of the business also.
Well, and then you can take that, because there's so many different vendors out there now that have software that you match the software with the vendor, you can instantly print an invoice. So I'm just using this strictly as an example. If you charge $1 for something, seam sealer, $1 in the bot, you time that with your invoicing system that again all your paint manufacturers have, and then you put it in there, then you generate the invoice. The pricing is the same. They work well together.
Right.
So if you do that, put it with your parts manager. If you've got a parts manager, put it with he or she. They can do this because they know the pricing. Or if they don't, you got another problem. But
there's some more training
right.
opportunities.
They
created
know
by the bot.
Correct. They know what they have to do, and then they can put it in there. And maybe, to your point, you get an estimator, you get a production manager to fill in that labor, and then you're done. You're done. So it's 6 hours that will generate. So again, I'll be candid that we monitor how many line items we add at our facility on a monthly basis, and we're adding upwards of 25,000 lines a month.
That's huge.
That's a true story.
Yeah. He knows that, and again, because the same report I get, he gets too. So it really does make a difference. That this is not something where you're looking to see 2 or 3 lines added. I mean, it's nothing to add 70, 80, 100 lines to it.
I mean, it's almost like, this could be like a friendly competition, amongst, different shops, who's adding, dollars, to this. I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it from a great standpoint. And, it's like I said, you got nothing to lose, it sounds like. I mean, really nothing to lose. I mean,
nothing at all. I mean, it will help. It'll help. It'll help your business. It'll help you reinvent your business, and it'll help bring consistency to your business.
So, I think the last question is, cost-wise. It's a great tool. It's offered by SCRS. Member, you don't have to be a member. What are we looking at?
Well, you're a little over $100 a month, and you get significant savings if you're an SCRS member, but you don't need to be a member. But once you're using it, you're going to want to become a member.
It just makes sense. The price point, we've purposely set it because we want to give this to the industry. Now, granted, we have a ton of costs in it,
right?
But we want to give.
Expensive.
It is. It's very expensive to maintain, but we want to give it. And again, I hate to sound like a salesman here, but we give it away if my wife wasn't here. But no, we want to make the price point as low as it can possibly be, so that the shops use it. That's the goal. Is that because then. Hey, just being candid, I'm not the only shop, and then Rob's not the only shop. He, carriers, third parties can't say, well, you're the only one that charges. Well, no, there's 462 shops around that are part of that too. We all have the same thing. It's 100% elective as to what we do with it. You don't have to keep anything. You don't have to use the entire part. You can make SOPs that certain things don't show up, like in the high frequency and low frequency side. You can pick that. And again, we wanted that to make it customizable for all.
Well, I love the fact what you hit on, Barry, is, you guys put it at a price, the bot was set at a price point that's, that was affordable, that anyone can really, grab it. And I think that's the importance of, like SCRS and what they do for the industry, providing these types of resources out there for the repairers, because they see the struggles, they see what repairers go through out there every day, and by giving them a tool and a resource and an outlet, to accomplish, like I said, a business that's going to prosper, that's the important thing. And like I said, I couldn't imagine this industry without what SCRS does. And I think the industry takes it for granted, but like I said, I can't say thank you to SCRS enough for providing this out there.
Well, I appreciate you guys letting me be part of the panel, and it's been a great SEMA show, and I wish everybody a great time for the rest of the time available.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. And thanks to all of you as well.
Yeah.
Appreciate you cheering us.
Just for everyone in the audience, if you want more information about the bot tool, you can come to the SCRS booth, or you can check out scrs.com/bot. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
Thanks, guys.